coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there, man, on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love, man. Everybody who's been rocking with me with these 33 years of prison stories, I appreciate the love, man. I feel it, you know, so let's just keep it moving, man. Let's keep this thing growing. And like I said, if you ain't subscribed and you watching this, man, shame on you. You know, go subscribe, man. I got 70-something% of the people who watch my videos have not took the time to hit that button and subscribe. So I'm asking you to please subscribe if you enjoy the content, man, and join this movement so we can keep this thing rolling and we can reach more people and we can get these stories out there, man, because I think they're stories that need to be told. There are lessons in these stories. People can learn from them. You can share them with the young people in your life. Try to keep them away from this penitentiary life because it ain't nothing nice about it. So with that being said, man, salute to everybody who's been rocking with me, and I appreciate y'all, man. Today, I want to talk about an officer today. But this is just not any officer. This is a different breed of officer. Like I told y'all in my other story about McGinnis, you know, one of the meanest, you know, officers I met, you know what I'm saying, rough, rugged. Well, this is the female version of that. This is the female version of probably the toughest female officer I ran into in my 33 years of incarceration. And I want to pronounce her name right. She had a funny last name. I think, I don't know, she might have been married to like an Italian dude or something, or whatever, you know, that name come from is not a normal name. Her last name, if I pronounced it right, was Zolly. Zolly. We called her Zolly. You know, everybody on the compound knew her as Zolly, Lieutenant Zolly. And I tell you, my brother, she was something else in more ways than one. You know, she had a reputation on that institution, you know, for not going for nothing. I mean, absolutely zero tolerance. She was definitely not scared of you, definitely not scared of the administration, and definitely not scared to be on the compound with, you know, all these men. She just had a big heart. She was super aggressive. And just to paint a picture of y'all to what she looked like, you know, because I think it's relevant so you could get an idea of who I'm talking about, get a visual. Well, I mean, you know, it's sad, but it's true. But, you know, most female COs that I've ran across anyway, you know, they ain't like, just lack of a better phrase, they ain't like no beauty contestants or nothing like that, you know. Not being mean, just being honest, you know. But Zolly was very attractive. She was an attractive lady, man. She was a little lighter than me, a little lighter complexion than me. You would say a light-skinned woman. She had a hourglass figure, you know. She was cute, you know. She just had this attitude about her that made you a lot of times just look past the cuteness, you know. And then, you know, like I say, when I say cute, I mean she was really cute. I mean, considering even though she was a female officer. And I know a lot of y'all say, well, we say in prison, sometimes you've been locked up so long you get what we call penitentiary eyes. So, you know, after a while, which all females are cute to a certain extent, but after a while when you in prison, as the year go on, oh, you learn to appreciate women. You know, you can look at a woman and you gonna find the beauty in her. You gonna find the beauty in her. If she ain't got but one good quality, you gonna see it. You can believe that, you know. So, but it didn't apply to Zolly, man. Zolly was a nice looking woman. No matter where she went, she would be you know, considered a nice looking woman. And she could stand beside anybody as far as, you know, her shape and the way she looked. But with all that being said, that paint the picture of y'all about, you know, what she looked like. She probably was about 5'2", 5'3", you know, maybe 135 pounds, 40 at the most. And man, she was what do you call them things? A Wolverine, man. She was a a vicious thing when she get mad. She didn't care, you know. And in prison, a lot of dudes get to the point where they, you know, they resent authority because of the people that's in authority will abuse their authority. You know, so you get to a point sometimes where you resent authority. So every time you see someone or they trying to, you know, impose their will on you or tell you to do this, do that, you automatically got an attitude because they automatically got an attitude. So with Zolly, man, that's how she was. She would pull straight up on you. Hey, where you supposed to be? Where you supposed to be? You better get where you need to go. You need, and, you know, and dudes will bark back. But when you bark back at Zolly, you know, it ain't like an average woman. You know, because it didn't matter how big you was or what your reputation was or what. You bark back at Zolly, Zolly bark straight back at you. You know, hey, you need to get to where you going. You need to go right now. I'm going when I get there. You better get out my face. Get me out your face. Get me out your face. That was Zolly, you know, and she won't scared. You know, oh, I'll knock you out. Yeah, come on with it. Come on with it. I mean, she ready. You know, she just was ready. You know, I heard, I can't confirm this, but I heard she had a military background, which I could believe to a certain extent because of the way she act. I could believe she had a military background. But I do know for a fact she was not scared and she was not timid and she would not back down. And that is a fact. And anybody who's been on at Greensville knows Zolly, man. If they've been there for a while, they knew Zolly. Zolly was there for the most part of over 20-some years, you know. But like I said, as mean as she was to convicts, she had the same personality towards her officers. If she caught one of her officers slipping and slacking, she was down on them, man. I mean, she yelled at them, you know, belittled them. And that right there caused the dynamic of how I view that her career went. And I've talked to other officers too over the years who told me the same thing. Zolly had built up a reputation so much at being so strict and by the book that not only did the convicts knew not to trust her, her own co-workers didn't trust her. You know, they didn't trust her neither because they knew if they were doing anything out of bounds, anything wrong, that she was going to report it. You know, so it was a crazy dynamic. Zolly is probably the only female or only lieutenant, female or male, that I knew that was a lieutenant for so long. She had got to apex in her career where they didn't want her to go no higher because it wouldn't have benefited them, because she'd get more of them in trouble than she would us. And they just left her right there at a lieutenant. You know, I seen people come in as regular officers while Zolly was already a lieutenant. And years and years and years go by, that person moves up from an officer to a sergeant to a lieutenant to a captain to a major, and even wardens have come after Zolly and went right on past her. They would not let her advance. They would not let her go no more further than a lieutenant, because I personally believe they didn't trust her, because the system is corrupt. It ain't no ands, ifs, or buts about it. So if you got a corrupt system and you got her and she get in a position where she see you doing some other stuff, she's going to tell her. She's going to tell on you just as sure as grits as groceries. Zolly is going to tell it, you know. So let me give y'all a little bit of the history of some of the things I was around to witness with Zolly, man. I remember one time I seen her in the hallway. I probably was in 7 building. And she was upstairs and they was issuing out something that we had to have. It may have been property. And one of the inmates had got to arguing with her. And it was a white dude, you know. And he was arguing with the property officer about the property he was supposed to be receiving. It wasn't correct. So she was telling him that that's all she had, and you know, that's it. He ain't need to talk about it no more. But he was, you know, he was not backing down. He was screaming at her. He was hollering, yelling, cussing. And by her being the building lieutenant, she comes over there. So when she comes over there, she pulls straight up on him and asks him, did he have a problem? He continued to be belligerent and loud with her as well. And she got right up in his face and told him, turn around, put the handcuffs on, you know. And he was like, I ain't doing I ain't doing nothing. You know, I ain't, you know. So Zolly was like, look, you don't put the handcuffs on. He said, you don't get out of my face, I'll knock you out. Zolly said, try it. Try it. You know, and sure enough, he swings on it. Boom, hit her. Knock her down. She fall down on the floor. She's scrambling to get up, man. She got up and she charged him and grabbed him, and they tossed her down to the ground, and they sitting there, they rumbling. You know, then all the police come running in there because they coming. You know, especially when you hit an officer, let alone when you hit a female officer. So they all come running in there. They come charging in there, man. They jump on them, man. They whoop them, beat them up, get them up out there. Zolly get her punches and stuff all in too while they got them all grabbed up and stuff. But she just had that type of heart. She had that type of lion heart, man. She won't scared, she won't running, and she would go for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one of the many incidents I seen her get into as far as physical altercations. I seen her get in countless of verbal altercations that I can't even count. You know, she can hold her own with anybody, no matter who it is. You know, dudes in prison, like I say, man, they got some of the most vicious mouths, man, that you gonna ever run across on the planet. And she just hold it with them. They may say this, that, and the third to her. MFU, you ain't that. She'll say, yeah, whatever. You know, you ain't this, that, or nothing either. Or your mama ain't this. Or your mama ain't that. That was one of their favorite lines in there, man, which was a dangerous line. But a lot of them use that when they feel like you getting out on them, they start talking about your mom. You know, so Zolly though, man, she ran her shift, her building with an iron fist. I can remember one time I was in segregation, and the segregation that I was in, they had made Zolly the lieutenant of the segregation building. So she's back there in segregation. So on segregation, you know, you locked up. You know, you don't come out nothing but just to take a shower, and that's gonna be for 15 minutes, and they're gonna handcuff you and shackle you to take you to the shower. Then when you get inside the shower, it has a little opening too where they could take the handcuffs off you, shackles up off you, and you take your shower 15 minutes, they come back and get you. But when you're in segregation, you know, you go to rec too, but you might go to recreation maybe once a week for an hour, right? So when you got to go to recreation, they got to come to your cell and they got to strip search you before they can put your clothes back on in their presence, put the handcuffs on you, then take you out. Handcuffs and shackles take you out for rec and bring you back. Same thing applies when you got to get in the shower. When you go to get in the shower, they take you to the shower, but when you get in the shower, you don't have anything in segregation. They got to give you underclothes as well, a new set of clean underclothes. So you have to take all of your clothes off, give them to the officer to get more t-shirts, socks, and underwear. So you basically knew. So they had passed a law or passed some type of law in prison back when I was on there during this time, that they were saying that all the officers, the correctional officers was equal. So they had to do equal job for equal pay. So everything that male officers was doing, they was telling the females that they need to do it as well. So that includes strip searching us, which wasn't even really, you know, that was never happening when I was in prison. But during this time, it was going down, and a lot of officers weren't feeling it. But Zolly was the lieutenant. I can remember Zolly telling the female ladies when I was back, look, you need to get on up in there and strip search him before he go outside. Get all his stuff, take everything off, make him, you know, squat call, all of that. You know, don't act like you ain't never seen one of them things before. You done seen one of them before. You need to get on up in there and take care of that, or either go on to another shift or go ahead on and clock out. You know, that's how she was. She had no nonsense, no mercy. You know, so Zolly made them women on her shift strip search men and take them men in that shower and get their clothes and stuff. So, you know, just being in prison, you know, men love that. You know, they had a ball with that. I don't think it lasted too long. They changed it again because, like I say, they was getting so many females that was quitting, or so many females that wasn't with it, that it was just causing so much chaos that they ended up changing. But I just remember that one point when I was back there and Zolly was in control. Zolly ain't had no problem with it. Zolly strip search herself. She won't trip. She won't tripping at all. She like, you ain't got nothing I ain't seen. You ain't got nothing that's impressing me. You know, and whatever you got is locked up, so I don't need it and I can't have it. So you put your clothes on. You know, that's how she was. No nonsense. She just ain't care. You know, she, you know, like I say, probably in different circumstances, she probably was a cool woman. But when you on that other side of her, like being a convict or inmate or something, oh nah, man, Zolly was the enemy. Zolly was the mortal enemy, you hear me? So, yeah, man, but it's just the stories about her is crazy. The officers, like I say too, they didn't really trust her, man. I don't think they really rock with her like that. I can remember one time too, this incident was one of the major incidents about her that the whole compound knew. If people was there during this time, they probably remember this incident. But she went back there one day to get some dude out of segregation. And when you go get somebody out of segregation, she had to, you know, take them wherever they had to be. So when you go get somebody out of segregation, you go to their cell, say you get the tray slot open, you handcuff them, open the door, take them where they need to go. You hold them by the arm, take them where they need to go. So she goes back there to get a dude. And while she's back there to get a dude, the dude is getting dressed. So she's standing at the door on the tier waiting for the dude to get dressed. While she's waiting for the dude to get dressed, I think the dude next door, he might have been messing with her, you know, flashing her. We call that gunning in penitentiary. So she starts screaming on him, trying to embarrass him, you know, talking about, you ain't doing that, what you doing it for, you little nasty self, da 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 da, and talking stuff to him. And then, like I told you, you get into, you know, somebody might be doing that to your mom. She started talking about his mom. So he took it personal. So now it done went from that to them just, you know, talking to each other, just cussing each other out, screaming, and he telling her what he'll do to her. He'll whoop her, he'll beat her, you know what I'm saying? She's like, you ain't gonna do nothing, you ain't gonna do nothing to me, you gonna sit right there where you at, you ain't gonna do this, you ain't gonna do that. So they going back and forth, but he done got, you know, blood mad, he mad as on or what. So he kicking on the door, banging on the door. She said, that ain't gonna get you nothing, I ain't nobody worried about you, this, that, and the third. Now mind you, the door that she's at, waiting for the dude is right beside the door of the dude that she's arguing with. So she just slid over more so arguing with him while she waiting for this dude to get dressed. Now, this is where the controversy come in, because a lot of people say, did they think that CO did this on purpose? Some people say it was just a genuine mistake. But what happened was when the dude got dressed and he ready to go, now Zolly done raised her hand as is to open the door. And the dude in the booth opened the door that she was arguing with. Opened that guy's door opposed to the door that she was supposed to open where the dude had the handcuffs on that was ready to go. And this dude that she has been arguing with came out of his cell in segregation now without any handcuffs on. So he pulled straight up to Zolly. What you say now? What you said about my mama? What you say? And punched Zolly in the face. Zolly falls down. He jumps on top of Zolly and starts punching and beating her like a man. And while she's trying to fight him off, I think he put his hand around her face, and somehow she managed to get one of them fingers in her mouth, and I know she bit the tip of one of his fingers off. I don't know what finger it was, but she bit the tip of one of his fingers off. The officers end up getting in there. They come in there, you know, like I say, something like that go down, they come in to get you. They run up in there, they jump on them, you know, 10, 15, 20 deep, you know, beat them down, you know, beat them viciously, because that's what they gonna do. You know, when you make a move like that, you got to know the consequences. That's part of the game. You're going to have to be able to take that whooping too. But he beat Zolly up pretty good, man. They had to take Zolly to the hospital. You know, she had to get a couple of stitches, you know, do this, that, and the third to her. She was messed up. She was gone, I remember, for a couple of months. But when she came back, trust me and believe me, she ain't miss a beat. You know, she ain't miss a beat, will still jump right up in your face when you say something, still ready to go, still trained to go. That ain't hurt me, that ain't bother me, you know, that's part of the game, you know what I'm saying? That's part for the course. She won't trip, you know. That's how tough this woman was, man. She was a tough cookie, and she just, like I say, and I done met all types of women doing this bit, man. All types, man. Some that thought they was tough who really wasn't. Some that ran their mouth, weren't gonna do nothing. Some that, you know, just cross you up, lie on you, do all of that. But Zolly, man, you had your work cut out messing with her. I mean, you had your work cut out messing with her. She was not playing no games, man. She was about that business, man. And she always talking stuff. Always talking stuff. And she ain't letting nothing go by her. Nothing. She see it, she gonna tell it. You know, but that was understood. So you need to know this when you dealing with her, that you dealing with a straight, we call that a straight police. She a straight police. Ain't no I'm gonna give you no break. Ain't no, okay, I'm gonna let you go this time. If she catch you in the wrong, she got you. So you might as well get ready for the consequences. She got you, you know. Now, it came an incident one time, you know, I had left the compound. I was on there actually 3 times. But I left one time and I was gone for some years. And I come back. She's still a lieutenant, you know. She's still a lieutenant, and she's still wreaking havoc, and she's still out there every morning on that boulevard, you know, directing traffic, telling people where to go, where they better get there, or you going to jail, locking people up. That's how she was going. So when I get back this time, I think it's like I want to say 2000. I want to say 2004, right? And it's a lot going on, man, on the compound. There's a whole lot going on that compound. So I get on there, and I'm trying to get back in graphic design class. I was taking the graphic design class where I was to get transferred. I'm trying to get back in the class over here with the graphic design class. So as I'm waiting to try to get in the graphic design class, I end up put my paperwork in, submit my stuff. I had to go on the waiting list and everything. And I ended up getting in there in about a month or 2. So when I get in there, man, there's a brand new teacher in there. It's a dude maybe a little older than me, you know, around the same age. And he's a brother. And he teaches the class, you know, and it's a good environment in there. It's nice in there, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in there doing their thing, you know, working towards, you know, whatever they want to do, get into what you call it, graphic arts, or get into advertisement, or get into just drawing and everything. It's a good class, so you can learn all of this stuff in there, and it was a good environment in there. So I enjoyed the class a lot. Unfortunately, I didn't get, you know, my chance to finish the class. Well, not that time, or in that environment, because old Zolly had old Zolly that ended up shutting the entire compound down. I mean, she shut the whole prison down. Greensville is the biggest prison in Virginia, bar none. 3 institutions in one. 4 if you count segregation building. Zolly shut the whole compound down with her police tactics. Man, I can remember this like it was yesterday. Zolly shook up the entire Greensville compound. What happened was one morning, in the morning time when we get up, go to breakfast, do whatever it is that they have to do when they clear the count, we go to breakfast. And after we go to breakfast, they had what they call movement. That's when they started calling people to go to wherever you need to go. If you taking, you know, GED classes, you taking school, you taking vocational classes, you're taking anything that requires, you know, some type of what they call it, vocational or educational classes. You would go in the morning time. Those was when they had some in the evening too, but it started in the morning after breakfast and everything else was clear. That's when they call movement. Now, mind you, Greensville got the biggest institution in Virginia. It's 3 compounds in one. But the way they're sectioned, they're set right down there beside each other. So what they had something what you call outer unit movement. That means you had to leave one compound to go to the other. But in the middle, they had a big round circle called the center circle where you can walk through. You're actually on the street, but you're not free. You got gates and fences and guards and everything. But you actually leave one compound and go to the other because your class that you're taking may be over there. The graphic design class was in another building. So people go to take graphic design. You had people that was going to like, I think they had the wood shop on there. You know, they go over there to that. You had people coming over from there to the plumbing, the HVAC, different places. So it's outer unit movement. These movements only went on a certain amount of times a day, a certain time a day. Because all the officers had to be in place. Everything had to be coordinated. People line up, they move, they go. Now, mind you, when you go into these other places, you gonna be shook down, right? They gonna pat you down, shake you down. They not script searching you, you know, but they patting you down real decent, and they sending you where you had to go. But you gonna be escorted by an officer as well. Okay. With that being said, you got some of these cats always think they smarter than everybody else, always trying to do some foolishness that will end up messing things up for everybody. During this time, it was rumored that it was a lot of stuff on the compound, right? And it had supposed to been coming in frequently. So dudes want to brag and they want to show off, opposed to just enjoying whatever it is that you got that you may can't get nowhere else. So with that being said, this dude, he has some liquor, right? Real street liquor, like a pint. It's still actually in the bottle that you could buy from out of the liquor store, the ABC store. So it's known that it came off of the street. There's no other way it could get in. There's no other way that he can have it. It came straight from the street. So this right here is a problem anyway. You should not even have it in the bottle. Even if you got it, you should have took it out. That way, you know, you can more or less camouflage it, more or less, you know, hide it or whatever. But dudes want to be bragging. Dudes want to show off. This dude not only had a pint of liquor with him, he has written a note saying to his homeboy that's in the other building, that's not in the building that he in. He done wrote a note saying, look, man, I'm sending this over here to you. I hope you get this, man. You know, we got it going on over here. You need to move over here, man. We got somebody bringing us in the liquor. We can get this, we can get that, man. You need to be over here. This way is that. He wrote all of this incriminating information in a letter. Straight no-no. Balled the little letter up, which we call a kite, got it as small as possible, taped it all up, taped it to the bottle of liquor, and he gonna take the liquor and try to put it in his sock and pull his pants down and go to another part of the institution, which is out of unit movement, knowing that you're gonna get shook down, knowing that these people are gonna pat you down and go down your leg. But he was hoping that it was an officer that was gonna pat him down, that was cool with him and was gonna let him get by. Probably would have happened. But had it not been for this day, Supervisor Zolly is out there overseeing the movement, right? She troubleshoot everything. She see you got your shirt tucked. Tuck your shirt in, young man. Pull your pants up. She on everything. So, like I told you before, officers scared of her too. So they nervous because they know, oh, you ain't doing, you pat him down real good. You ain't doing what you, because she watching them, you know. So when they know she watching them, they gonna do their job because that's their livelihood. They, you know, they gonna do their job. And they know she gonna go tell it. She'll go write you up. People will get suspended messing with Zolly, man. Officers get suspended, you know, get some days on the street without pay. Everything messing with Zolly because she gonna tell it. It's known she gonna tell it. And it's known from the convict side, don't let her catch you wrong because she got you. Well, all that going on, he gonna try to come through the line. When he sees Zolly, if he was smart, he would have got out the line and went on back to the building and either took that back or just, you know, not went to school that day. Nah, not him. Not him. I guess he figured he could still get by. So he go on and moving on down the line, and get up to him, and he getting shook down, and evidently Zolly is watching, and it don't look like he getting shook down proper. So here she come. Hey, young man, come here. Get over here. What? What's up? Get over here. He comes over there to where Zolly at, and Zolly say, turn around, put your hands up. Zolly pass him down. Don't you know, Zolly find this liquor. What you got in your, what's this? What's this right here? What you talking about? He tried to pull away. She grabbed him. What you got? Lift his pants leg up. This fool, and that's all he can be called, is a fool, and that's being nice. He let Zolly grab this bottle of liquor with the note on it. You know, now if any time you go, I ain't advocating you know, I ain't gonna never advocate doing nothing to no woman. That's just not me. But if it's any time that you gonna try to get away, that's when you supposed to have tried to get away. You could have snatched that bottle and just ran and just broke the bottle and get the note off or whatever. You going to jail anyway. That's just my philosophy. You going to jail. When you get caught with that, you definitely going to jail. There ain't no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You going to jail, you can make it a case, you can make it under investigation, and some more stuff. So why is you just gonna let her just take that from you and then you gonna sit there and complain about it? Because you already know what it is. Now you not only got yourself in trouble, you done incriminated everybody else. Now they want to do all types of stuff. Man, all hell broke loose. When Zolly found that, oh my God, what did you got? What is this? What is this? Look at this. Do y'all see this? And you patting him down and you give him, let him get by you with this? You see this? This come off the street. What's this note to it? Pull the note off. Hey, get on the radio, call in the code, and man, next thing you know, they everybody, back to your building. Back to your building. Out of unit, movement is canceled, classes is canceled, back to your building. You know, everybody. So the whole compound now started going back. People that was already in classes had to come back. People that was already out moving had to come back. People that's already going out on the yard, going to the gym, go back. Go back to your building. Everybody back to your building. Zolly called shut the entire compound down. You heard me? I mean, she shut it down. She went up in that watch commander office, showed them that bottle of liquor, read that letter. They trying to decipher now, where did the liquor come from? What dude was it going to? Who is the officer bringing in liquor? And what else is he bringing in? All of this now is the topic of conversation. So, man, the whole compound is in disarray. So, everybody want to know what's going on. It's all because of this one dude in Zolly. You see what I'm saying? So, the camp is crazy. When we on lockdown, we in our cell. You know, it ain't no movement. You ain't coming out for nothing. You ain't coming out to eat. They gonna bring you your food to your cell 3 times a day. The garbage that it is. They gonna bring that to you 3 times a day. You gonna come out for a shower every 3 days, if you lucky. Every 3 days for 10, 15 minutes in a shower. And then you go back to your cell. And that's it until they finish doing what they gonna do. Now, if they gonna come around and do a major shakedown, which they did, that means they're going to come around to the entire compound, every single cell. And they're going in there and they're going through everything that you have in that cell. Everything. Your letters, your clothes, your pictures, your property, your food, everything. They just straight violating everything that you got. It makes you feel so dehumanized that you have no control over nothing. You know, so this is what goes on during the shakedown. And all of this happened because of Zolly. When Zolly figured that out, they tried to decipher who it was coming from. They was trying to say that it was coming from one particular worker there that was the dude that I was in the class with, the graphic design dude. They thought it was him. So they put him on investigation. The reason why they thought it was him, because that dude was in that class. So they thought it was him. They put that dude on investigation. He had to leave the job. He was getting paid, though. I think he was on paid leave. But, man, they had internal affairs come in there. Internal affairs is coming around. They talking to everybody that was in the class. They went shaking down everybody that was in the graphic design class. They went and shook them down. Everybody. They went to their cell first. Now, it's over 1,500 people, if I ain't mistaken, that's on Greensville. They went to everybody who took that class first. Now, that's when all of the ish hit the fan, because some of the people who they went to that was in the class, they found, you know, DVD players illegal. You can't have them. They found DVDs. They found a couple of phones. They found all types of magazines. They found some more liquor. So, man, it just was a storm, man. It was an ish storm all over the compound, all because of that one incident. That one foolish dude, and all because he tried the wrong one. He tried Zolly. He tried, and everybody know that that's a no-no. If he had that and he seen her, he should have turned around. He should have just turned around and aborted the mission, you know, abandoned ship, all of that. That's what he was supposed to do, but he didn't. Man, that caused so many people so many things. So many people got transferred. The graphic design teacher was not the good thing about it is, number one, let me tell you something too. When that heat hit the fan, and these so-called gangsters and thugs and stuff, man, usually they you know what I'm saying, they start singing like the OJs, because they don't want to be behind that door, because they don't want to be locked up. They don't want to be, you locked up anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's all the same, but dudes get so content with that movement that they have that when they can't move, that they feel like that's even like a more of a violation. That's more of a confinement. Man, you locked up anyway. It's always been my philosophy. You locked up anyway. But that's how they feel. So they'll tell, man, they'll sneak, they'll write a note and tell, or they'll try to, you know, drop a dime on somebody just so they can get from behind that door, right? And man, that was one of the few times, man, that's nobody, man, out of all the people that was in that dude class, man, and nobody sold them out. Not one person. Not one. They came and talked to everybody that was in the class, including me, because I just got in the class. So I'm assuming they asked me the same thing that they asked the rest of them. But what they came to me and asked was internal affairs was, did the dude who ran the class, did he ever bring me anything that was outside, you know, from the street? Absolutely not. Did he ever mention about bringing me something? Absolutely not. Did he ever, you ever see him bring anybody else something? Absolutely not. Oh, you ain't got to be scared. You can tell us because we ain't going to do nothing to you, man. We'll even move you. We'll get you off the compound, whatever. Ain't nobody going to know. I said, man, I don't know anything about anything, and I ain't never seen him do nothing but teach the class. That's all I know, you know. So they let me on out there because they could see I ain't had nothing to say. But obviously, no one did, man. No one said anything about the dude. So the dude ended up having to leave that compound though, but he could not be fired and he was still getting paid. So he ended up getting picked up on another compound and he continued to do his, you know, teaching this class or whatnot. But that was one of the few times, man, like I said, nobody took the sucker route and try to tell on the man or try to sell him out just for their own, you know, better conditions or whatever, you know, because some dudes even to make up a story. You know, people, the lie be worse than the truth. You know, they've been saying he doing more than what he was doing. The lie will be worse than the truth. So some people do that, and I'm glad that that didn't happen in that situation. But man, it just was a major joint on that compound. We stayed on lock for probably about a month. You know, the whole compound, because they had to go through every cell. They shipped so many people because of that incident, got transferred. So many people lost their job. The whole class was discontinued until they could get another teacher, which didn't happen for over a year. You know, so all of this went down just because Zolly was Hawkeye and on top of everything. And once she found it, she went and told it. Now, that's an incident right there to change the whole dynamics of the institution. And you would say when you do stuff like that, then maybe, you know, you'll get promoted. Maybe you know, they still ain't promoted. They still ain't promoted. She still was a lieutenant. She still had the same ship. She still did the same job. They didn't promote her. Had there been another lieutenant or sergeant or somebody else that found out that information like that and all of this stuff transpired behind that information, oh, they would have got promoted. They would have got promoted in less than 5-6 months. They would have moved up to whatever position they was in. They would have went to the next level ASAP, immediately. But not Zolly, because they knew that not only would she do that to them, she would do it to them as well. You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't move her, man. They would not move her. Zolly had a lot of dynamics to her, man. One time she, I know all y'all out there probably remember Arthur Ashe. This is something, if y'all really want to see a picture of her, if y'all really want to do your research, you know, you might can find this, because I remember seeing it with my own eyes. Zolly was also some kin to Arthur Ashe. She was like his first cousin or something. She was close with him. So I remember when he had passed away and they had his funeral, I remember Jet Magazine did an article about his funeral and had pictures and stuff in there. I remember seeing a picture of Zolly in Jet Magazine, and they had mentioned that this was one of his family members that was also a lieutenant in a Virginia Correctional Center. So You might can look that up and find that about Zolly. You might can see the picture of her. I do remember seeing it in my mind's eye. I remember seeing it. Someone showed it to me. But yeah, she was some kin to Arthur Ashe as well. Like I say, man, there's many, many more stories about Zolly. She was a warrior, man, a female warrior for real. You know, if there was a Wonder Woman in the Virginia DOC, it was definitely her. Cause she a fighter guy. She a rumble. She gonna go to war with you. She gonna go to court on you. She gonna tell on you. She gonna do everything, you know. But they did not want her to advance because they couldn't trust her. I've seen people, like I say, I know wardens that started below Zolly, used to work for Zolly. When you're a lieutenant, you control most of the shift. You are other one's supervisor. You are the sergeant supervisor on that shift. You're the officer supervisor on that shift. So she was above, you know, hundreds of people. I've seen those people that was her, you know, employees that work for her go right past her, and she ended up working for them. They ended up being captains and majors and wards and being, you know, supervisors over her because of her disposition, because of her no nonsense, because of the way she carried it, you know. So yeah, man, she walked to the beat of her own drum, and she didn't care what you think about her. And if you bark at her, she gonna bark back. If you bite, she gonna bite back, and that's just real talk. And I remember, man, I ain't never really had no problems with it because I respected her gangster. You know, I try to stay out of her way because I ain't want to be no part of what she had going on, you know. So I don't know for sure what happened with her. I do know she retired in the 2000s. I don't know when. I heard, I don't want to say it for true, but I heard someone told me that he had heard that she passed away. But it'd be so many rumors about prison, you know, stuff and people that get out of prison, whatever. So I don't really believe that. I don't know for sure. Sadly, I didn't do my due diligence to check all of that out or find that out yet. But I will try to find out. I just wanted to tell y'all this story because it was on my mind, because I was talking to somebody and her name came up and it just had all of this stuff, you know, in my mind, and I wanted to give it to y'all and put it down here on camera before I forget it or before I go on to thinking about other stories or other incidents. I wanted to tell y'all about Zolly, man, the female, you know, warrior in that DOC. And anybody who was in there who know her know that this ain't no capping, this real talk. Zolly was that woman. You know, you can respect it, you can hate it, you can do whatever you want to do, but it was what it was. And she was who she was. So shout out Zolly, man, you know. And shout out to y'all, man, for rocking with me with these stories, man. I appreciate y'all. We got more of them coming, man. Like I say, man, hit that notification button so you won't miss no videos. And if you ain't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button if you like these stories so I can know where you coming from. Hit the comments so I can hit you back. I read the comments. People say, oh, you know, I read the comments. If you go down there and look, you'll see I done read it. I didn't even make a comment back or gave you a star if I liked it or whatever. But I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the love. So y'all keep on rocking with me, man. And I'm going to keep on pushing them out here. And I'll talk to y'all real soon. Peace and love, Team Banky Pound. Love y'all.
The Banky Special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm going to have something because I'm rich in personality, you know. And I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.